It is a brand new day, and this is GTV Live News. We are coming to you from the broadcasting house in Kanda in Accra. My name is Michael. Now, news coming up in the headlines. Fishermen at Jamestown call for solutions to plastic waste menace. Butchers at Malam Atta appeal for the renovation of their butchery. A new laboratory has been commissioned. Stay tuned as we bring you details of these and other stories very shortly. Thanks for staying on. Beginning with this bulletin, a new building to house the West African Center for Cell Biology of Infectious Pathogens at the University of Ghana is formally opened. The $500,000 facility will help improve research in molecular biology of infectious diseases and help train young scientists in the sub-region.
The West Africa Center for Cell Biology of Infectious Pathogens, WACBIP, is a center of excellence for higher learning under the College of Basic and Applied Sciences at the University of Ghana, Legon. WACBIP's new building is to leverage the existing facility due to the increasing number of students the center now admits. The center trains young research scientists from Ghana and across the sub-region. Over the years, WACBIP has conducted research into pathogens, human genetics, non-communicable diseases, innovation research for molecular diagnosis and drug development. The center also engages in scientific citizenship in senior high schools and visit communities to educate households on some common diseases and their prevention. The director of WACBIP, Professor Gordon Awandari, said if adequate resource funding is available, the center can do more innovative researches and development by young Ghanaian and African scientists.
One of the problems with African science is that most of our top talents, they go overseas and they don't come back. For sustainability, the government needs to commit a budget every year for research. We need to put some scholarships on the table. We've given scholarships to 152 students. A lot of that is other taxpayers' money.
The Vice-Chancellor of the University of Ghana, Professor Odro Owusu, pledged the university's continuous support to the center and the College of Basic and Applied Sciences in training more young students. The director, Noguchi Memorial Institute for Medical Research, Professor Abraham Adam, called for more partnership in developing innovative researchers in Ghana.
At Noguchi, we are still growing, and I can promise you that on behalf of the Institute, we will continue to leverage strategic innovative partnerships to benefit WACBIP.
The Minister of State for Tertiary Education, Professor Kwesi Yanka, entreated Ghana's research institutions to make available their groundbreaking research findings to support the nation.
National Research and Innovation Fund Bill is currently before Parliament and will soon be written into law. As you are aware, the fund seeks to provide additional funds to support, promote, and publicize research, technology generation, and innovation in tertiary education and research institutions.
The construction of the new facility was funded by the Government of Ghana with support from the World Bank. A high-performance computing unit and a confocal microscope was also commissioned for the center.
Away from that, butchers at the Malam Atta market are calling on authorities to renovate a butchery which has remained dilapidated for several years. According to the butchers, the state of the facility has led to a decrease in sales as most customers prefer to buy meat elsewhere.
This is the state of the Malam Atta butchery in Accra. The butchery has not been renovated since it was established in 1995. The butchers say they have made several pleas to the authorities to have the state of the butchery improved, but it has not yielded the desired results. The onset of the rains has made the butchery unsightly as it becomes muddy. According to the butchers, they have lost a number of customers to other shops in Accra due to the condition of the shop. One of the butchers at the Malam Atta market, Mr. Emmanuel Bochia, said the high cost of meat is due to the depreciation of the cedi and high transport fares from transporting the cows from Burkina Faso to Accra.
Our economy will facing a lot of challenges. You can only see yourself. This is not good. That's why we are sitting down.
A butcher, Mr. Al Hassan Mahama, who has been in the business for about 20 years, said they pay 15 cedis to keep the meat in the cold store, but that is taking a toll on them. Mr. Abdul Ganin Jr., a butcher and a senior high school graduate, said he came to Accra to earn money to further his education. However, things are not moving according to his expectation due to a drop in demand of the commodity. For these traders, if their appeal to the authorities to give a facelift to the butchery is listened to, it will go a long way not only to attract customers to patronize the meat, but also improve their income levels.
Fishermen at the Jamestown landing beach in Accra are calling for immediate solutions to the plastic waste menace since it is affecting their business. The fisher folks say when they cast their nets, they catch all kinds of plastic materials and very little fish. With the Gan Homowo Festival just a few weeks away, their fear is that prices of fish may be affected because they buy fuel to go to sea and return with very little fish to break even.
Tuesdays are days when fishermen usually take a rest from fishing because popular folklore has it that the spirits that inhabit the sea need at least 1 day a week to rest. In real terms, it means that the fishermen need 1 day to mend their nets and to put themselves together for the rest of the week's activities. And so because it's Tuesday, there's not a lot of actual fishing going on. The fishermen are going around mending their nets. But the main problem that they've told us they have here is that of the dumping of plastic waste into the sea.
Fishing is hard work. Even before the canoes are taken out to the open sea, a lot of preparations have to be made. The nets need to be mended. Premixed fuel must be available for the outboard motor, and the canoe has to be seaworthy. The skill of the fisherman is also crucial in order to get a bumper fish harvest. So, when all this effort is invested and the returns are not as expected, it becomes a problem. There are fishermen who have worked at this Jamestown landing beach for several decades and rely on this business to feed their families. But that livelihood is now under threat from plastic waste. On the shores, the extent of pollution is evident. The fishermen say their nets catch only waste, and after investing money into resources for fishing expeditions, the losses they incur with minor catches are worrying.
If
it was paper, it would be better, but plastics never decompose, so it remains in the sea indefinitely. The plastic manufacturers should be taken to task.
We need waste bins along the landing beach. Light fishing is also a problem for us.
We used to catch a lot of fish, but now we only catch rubbish.
They tell us that they have made efforts to get their voices heard on the corridors of city authorities to implement sustainable waste management systems to help them deal with the problem. But this has not happened. And in the midst of all the challenges, visitors still find the London Beach a tourist site, perhaps because of the old Accra harbour, which barely stands in the waters near the shore. The leaders of the fishermen told GBC 24 that they do their bit to educate those living nearby to dispose their waste appropriately. But the London site needs more help.
I can't get you past 17 years over now.
For years, we have had no waste bins, so most rubbish end up in the sea and on the shore. This must stop. We also plead with authorities to reconstruct the harbour here.
The annual Gahomowo Festival is just around the corner, and the fishermen say they may be forced to pass the high cost of their operations on to the consumers if help does not arrive immediately. Falmataki, GBC 24, Jamestown, British Accra.
A conference has taken place at Takoradi to discuss how to overcome the challenges of the transport sector. A critical area was how to maintain the transport infrastructure. Participants at the 2018 Biennial Transport Sector Review meeting also looked at alternative forms of transport, including rail, as a departure from the over-reliance of road transport.
Ghana, like most developing countries, is confronted with a myriad of challenges in the transport sector. These, according to experts, are the over-reliance on road transportation for transporting goods and freight, inadequate and poor condition of infrastructure, lack of funds for development and maintenance of transport infrastructure, and lack of private sector interest in the provision of transport infrastructure. Others are poor transport and traffic management skills, which have impacted negatively on security and safety, leading to high fatalities. The conference on the theme, Sustainability of Ghana's Transport Sector, Exploring Innovative Solutions, discussed workable but sustainable approaches to planning, financing and maintaining the country's transport infrastructure. Participants were drawn from the Ministries of Railways and Development, Aviation, Transport, Roads and Highways, as well as agencies and development partners. The Minister for Planning, Professor George Jambafo, said the time has come for the country to explore more innovative ways of addressing the challenges in the country's transport system, in line with the Ghana Beyond Aid policy. He therefore called for a paradigm shift which embraces emerging innovations that will be in tandem with planning of Ghana's cities and towns.
The sustainable innovations sought by the transport sector, however, needs to be situated in the broader context of our national development goals and aspirations, as well as in the context of the regional and global development agendas that we have made commitment to pursue. But we must, at all times, constantly engage with all stakeholders in the sector through our project and program cycles.
The Minister for Railways and Development, Mr. Joe Garte, said overdependence on road transport without complementary support from other transport sectors, notably the railways, will erode all efforts at expanding the harbours. In an interview with GBC 24, the Minister for Roads and Highways explained measures being put in place to address the problem of traffic lights in the country and the use of concrete in road construction.
The concrete roads last far longer, and it compensates for the difference in pricing. Because if it's higher by about, say, 10% and can last as twice longer than that of asphaltic road, then it makes sense that you resort to it.
For his part, the Minister for Transport, Mr. Kweku Ofori-Siama, talked about plans to turn around the Terma shipyard to play a key role in the maritime and oil and gas industry in view of the huge revenue potential Ghana can derive from it.
The government says it is working to change the image of the Ghana Post Service to become an ultra-modern, viable commercial company to compete favorably on the market. With the emergence of technology, the postal services has struggled to keep up, let alone survive.
Prior to the emergence of the electronic mailing system, the postal system was the main medium of sending and receiving letters and parcels. The service was confronted with serious challenges, including delays in delivery of parcels. However, with time, technology turned the tide. Private couriers dominated parcel delivery on the market, with efficient express service delivery leading to a sharp decline in income generation for Ghana Post. For this reason, some of its offices around the country were closed. In 2017, the government had to restructure the company's operations in order to become competitive. Significant investments and some policy interventions were made to transform the postal system. As it works to achieve all these, an interim governing board for the Ghana Post Company is in place to steer its affairs. It is expected to help provide effective courier services, money remittances through money or postal orders, and operate non-banking financial services, among others. Communications Minister Mrs. Esla Owusu-Ekufo urged the company to partner with the private sector to help improve its operations.
Ghana is digitizing rapidly, and as such, it cannot be business as usual at Ghana Post. It is incumbent on you to refocus the company to take advantage of technology to improve upon your service delivery.
The new board is expected to help the company to achieve its 2-day parcel delivery target. Meanwhile, a new interim management board for the Accra Digital Center is in place. The Digital Center is a mini technology park set up by the government to harness the digital potential of the Ghanaian youth through the creation of digital and ancillary jobs for the young people. The board is tasked to ensure the development and expansion of the center across the country's 10 regions.
Well, that does it for Newsday's morning, but before we go, a recap of the top stories. Fishermen at Jamestown call for solutions to plastic waste menace. Butchers at Malam Atta appeal for the renovation of their butchery, and a new laboratory has been commissioned. We do appreciate your time with us this morning. Have a good morning. My name is Michael Narh.